All right, hey, good evening. I'm just about to head up the Wooden Hills to Bedfordshire, and I I just happened to see somebody say, just glanced that, oh, it's another false flag in Texas. I just saw this and some social media stuff, and I thought something happened. So I pulled up our favorite rag here, the Drudge Report. Not to be mistaken with the Sludge Report, which is what this is. This is, yeah, by the way, Uncle Benny's Creepy Campfire Stories. I'm your host, Uncle Benny. Good evening. And this is the Sludge Report project. And I thought I'd throw this out so it doesn't have to get in my morning coffee. I don't need this ruining my morning. And it's not going to ruin my sleep. I'll sleep just fine. Doesn't bother me. You know, hey, I don't know if anybody's really dead or not. I don't. But I'm going to just tell you, as one of the purposes of this, again, framing things with the Word of God, see that your heart is not troubled when all these things are coming on the earth. Don't let your heart fail you for fear. And having even a bit of a callousness at this point is healthy. And to be fair to me and to others like me, and there are many, and I hope you're one of them, you should not believe a damn thing they put in front of you until you check it out, until you know more. And even then, until you have some real first-hand understanding, you need to have it at arm's length, because they are goddamn liars. Goddamn liars. Yes, that goes right down to your local parrot who's telling you the news. I've played that video before where those, they're reading scripts coming out of a central scripting office. So let's go to the headline blood red letter version over at the Sun in UK. Now, this is hot off the press, right? It's not, the bodies aren't even cold yet. I'm reading this here, and it's I pulled it up a little bit ago. I just kind of scanned through. I watched this video. It's a minute, not really much to see here, and just scroll down, look through the pictures, and I kind of read all this, and then I got down to these pictures, and already it stinks. And I want to take you through the process. Now it's just cursory, it's just at a glance. I don't know, but this is what this video is about. This isn't anything definitive. This is about how I am taking you through how to frame it, how to hold it at arm's length, and how to look for some of the tells. So let's just take a look here at the top, right? First of all, where did it happen? Texas. Oh, did you already forget? There were 2 a month ago. Yeah, the news cycle, boom. It's like ancient history now, right? And then the one in Dayton, there were 3. Now, I want to say that when those happened, all back to back like that, I think 2 were. There was the one. No, wait a minute. There was one in Texas, then one in El Paso, and one in Dayton the next day. So the California to El Paso week apart. Dayton was the next day, right? And then there was the scripted. You probably don't remember this. Maybe you don't know anything about it. You weren't following me. You weren't watching this. But there is video of a newscaster seeing that it had gone on in another mall or something like that, and then she's like, "Oh wait, that hasn't happened yet," and reminiscent of the BBC reporting on the World Trade Center 7 collapsing when it was live in the background of her camera shot. Got the script read, got their timing a little off, Same thing happened. There's just always lots of little tells, and when you get a preponderance of it, the odds exponentially. Every single other little data point that indicates there's something funny here, the odds just go up exponentially. Now we're a month out, so this is month over month. That's a fair pace, month over month. But I had commented at the time when that they're going to have to pick up the pace, meaning the targets might get softer. So what does that mean? Well, like Sandy Hook type of situation. Church situation, hospital, nursing home, stuff like that, malls or Walmarts, things that are like where it's going to get you where, what do they say? I can't think of the phrase. They're gonna pull your heartstrings. They're gonna get you right where you live. Get you where you live. That's what I'm trying to say. It's gonna get you right where you live. Almost literally. Everybody's gonna be able to relate to it. It's gonna be really relatable. That's sort of what I'm. Just call it a forecast. It's not a prediction. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. But here's what needs to happen. They got to ramp it up because the powers that shouldn't be are absolutely determined to disarm not all Americans. Oh, you can still shoot your rabbits, right? You can still defend your home. You might have to register them, but they want to take them from people who would be a threat to the powers that shouldn't be, to their policymakers, right? Ostensibly, it's to take it away from all the crazies. Well, they're already making motions to make the people who know what's happening, who are the ones who will resist the enemy, and make no mistake, you resist Satan, Bible say, and the devil will flee. Don't forget that. Be emboldened. The righteous are bold as a lion. Be emboldened. Don't be afraid of these people. And love not your life unto death. Give me liberty or give me death. Live free or die. These things can only be said by someone who knows that death has no sting anymore. Not if you belong to Christ. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of on a roll there. Or I lost my train of thought. Let me just get that train back on track here. So what I was saying is that when the one happened in El Paso, they reported of one that was supposed to be happening simultaneously or the same day as the one in the one Walmart was going to happen at another one in another town. Then the one happened the next day in Dayton. Yeah. And I was saying, and then there was the one that did happen that was kind of a flop or a dud. I know people maybe died, but it wasn't like massive amount of people, that possibly that would have been made a bigger impact. Don't make no mistake. You've got to leave room for the fact that the people who may or may not be orchestrating these things for real life, or they're staged, or however it's done, whether anybody dies or doesn't dies, they cannot account for every little detail. Their leave tells. Just like 9/11, there are plenty of tells that we're sloppy. Okay, so all right. So what I said kind of said, I would not be surprised if a lot of these start happening closer together. So what am I saying? Well, let's take a look at this one. And if it really ends up really stinking, and it kind of already does, and I'll show you why. Let's see. It's Labor Day weekend. What could happen? Oh, maybe a church. Maybe a barbecue. Maybe a pool party. Maybe a bar. Something on Labor Day. I don't know. I hope not. And I hope if anything does, it's a complete nobody gets hurt. I mean, I shouldn't have to say these things, but everybody's like their dishonest rebuttals are like, oh, you it's like you hope something happens. No, obviously I don't. I'm critically thinking. I'm analytically thinking. I'm considering the possibilities and looking for patterns and assessing odds. And you're not. Yeah, you're just making stupid rebuttals because it's like you're making thought-stopping statements is what you're doing. All right, so now that's out of the way. Let's just get into it. And I'm not going to lose sleep over this. I'm not going, and you shouldn't either. And you shouldn't. This morning I talked about reasons to be happy, and let's look at all the good things that are happening in the world, and if something's replicable and that they can reproduce it elsewhere and it can be multiplied. Those are some of the qualifications for those stories. But hey, somebody recovering from a stroke and getting their legs back, that's like ought to be a news story. Wonderful. There ought to be a forum and a format for that. Things like that, right? So this is Oh yeah. Well, so anyway, David Byrne was saying like he reads the news in the morning when he gets up in the morning, and he's depressed half the day, right? So is David Byrne? I don't know if he's heard about this yet. I don't know what time he goes to bed. He's on Eastern time if he's in New York, and or is he going to wake up tomorrow, get his paper, and see this, and then be depressed, all Sunday, half a Sunday, double down on his project? I don't know, but I'm not. I'm not depressed about this, and neither should you be. This also means that in everything, combined with everything, again, everything is a series of facts surrounded by circumstances, and also the sum is greater than each of the parts. So this kind of thing only means your redemption draws near. So keep looking up. Keep your oil lamps full, right? Keep your knives and swords sharpened. Is what we're doing here. So, all right, killing spree, Texas shooting. Now remember, Texas would have psychologically on the nation, it is a bastion of sort of the you might even say frontier spirit, or cowboys and guns, and everything. Texas is bigger, and they're tough with the death penalty. You don't want to murder somebody in Texas because they'll execute you, and they make no qualms about that kind of thing, right? That's the way Texans are. Well, it's interesting. These things are happening in Texas, all within a month span. It's just interesting. Is that part of a larger psychological strategy? I would say odds are pretty good that might play into it. All right, so 5 dead, at least 21 injured. Now, got to count the bullets. These are all direct shots. 5 fatal, 21 so far, injured. That's 26 shots. Okay, so it's more than one gun, or we just got to think it through. These little details sometimes matter. So gunman hijacks mail van before being shot dead by police outside Pac Cinema. Okay, so get you where you live, cinema. It's kind of like harkens back to the Aurora home situation. Again, I'm just going through and telling you how as I read the news, the things that tick off in my mind. Shot dead. How convenient. They're shot dead. No questioning, no trial, no discovery of evidence. It's like, we're going to tell you what happened, and he was one of the sources, that could have, through a lawyer and all this, had a different story. So the gunman is dead. That's convenient. It doesn't mean he wasn't really shot dead. It doesn't mean this didn't really happen. And again, I hate having to add these little parenthetical statements in for you soft brains. And not, if that's not you, then it's not you. But just go through this with me, and don't have the little naysaying spirit, okay? Because this is not my first rodeo. I've been looking at this likely a lot longer than you have. I'm not an idiot. I'm not crazy, and so you can just stop with all that mess in your head, whatever you're thinking. I don't want to hear it, because it's derisable to me. Like, I think so little of people who are so small-minded, who that's what they go to, because they do not even look at the evidence. They're so laughable. They probably think 9/11 was brought down by airplanes. I think that's so funny. It's like, well, are you crazy? I mean, the table's turned on you, right? The table is, always was. But I say it with such confidence, and I'm not the only one. It's like, you are on the wrong side of the table, man. You're the wrong side of the history, woman. Whoever you are, you need to use your brain. You need the Spirit of God to open up your eyes as well and see what's really happening to you. Understand the mind control and the level of theater that goes on. And I don't know, again, if this is it. Again, let's get back on track. We're watching this. I don't want to play the video. There's really nothing there. As per usual. Now, one thing is, remember, and we'll watch it comes out, outside a packed theater. Don't forget that little data point, okay? Because dollars to donuts, whatever that's supposed to mean, it basically means the odds are really good that I'm willing to make a bet that you will not see really detailed, clear, any good footage of this shooting going on, anybody nearby. And yeah, somebody can make some plausible arguments about it, but remember, this is a packed cinema or in an area, a lot of people. If you're going to have 21, uh, five dead and 21 injured, and you've already started firing, the moment you fire the first couple of shots, the jig is up. People know it's chaos. So there had to be a lot of people, you know. Now we're going to go, meaning it had to be in a higher population area or something, like or a lot of people around, an area like by a mall, whatever. So don't forget that people have cell phones. We saw in El Paso, somebody apparently, we hardly got any footage out of that. None of these really get any footage that's worth anything, you know. So let's see here. 5 people were killed after a maniac mass shooter. Now, they'd never say, this is one thing, this is the Sun. That's good they said maniac. It's good they said that. But one thing that I've never found one of them say mass murderer. They always put shooter. They never say mass knifer, mass stabber. But why can't they say mass murderer? No, because the media is an organization. It's a fifth column. It's a mind control device. Some are more powerful than others. Some are more, used more than others. But I've never seen it say that. I'm not saying it never ever has anywhere, but just by and large, especially because of the repetitiveness of the people who do these articles, you just don't see it. So, okay, hijacked a mail van and then opened fire at random in Texas last night. That's interesting. It says last night. Okay, this is the Sun. This is the Mirror. So this is reported on, I think it's kind of interesting. They said last night. Well, it's still last night, still today. I don't even know. I have to really think this through, but we're not going to do it right now. But that's a kind of interesting statement, isn't it? Is this too tedious for you? The devil's in the details. Haven't you ever heard this expression? Some things are just so plain in front of your nose, you don't think about it. The devil's in the details. That's something you need to remember. So these little data points are important. Let's see here. Mass shooter. Last night. Okay, so I don't know, what is London ahead? How far ahead is London? Let's just take a quick look. London is, right now it's about, see it right now here, it's 10:27. Over there, it's 2:27. So, looks like they're 4 hours ahead right now. And it is Sunday. All right, well, I don't know what time this is written. All right, it's just, we had to look into it. Don't forget, you got to drill down. Are you impressed I had London's clock here? Well, it's where a lot of news comes out of. And when it comes out, it's important. Okay? So, let's see here. Not sure how important it is to use the words last night, but when this article was written. Group of locals gather around. Okay, we saw that. Now, we don't see the wounded person. In fact, it's very hard to even see anybody on the ground. A lot of times, when somebody's... I don't know. I'm just trying to think if there's anything to say about that. Does that really look like somebody here was shot and all these people are down? What are they all doing? Maybe they're all family. We got to give people the benefit of the doubt. They're all family, and they're all saying, stay with us, hang in there. I don't know. I can't see if there's anybody doing mouth-to-mouth. Nobody seems to be in a position from this side, if the guy's chest is up this way, to really be doing CPR. They all seem to be... This guy he's just looking. They look pretty relaxed. Now, is this important? Yeah, it is. You got to look at demeanor of people. How are they acting? Okay, it's a still photo, so you can only say so much. All right. Midlands police and sheriff deputies around a white van in Odessa. All right, so there's one ambulance. Well, we have one shooter. There's an ambulance with a shooter. Now, remember, I made this clear when the El Paso one happened. Always count the ambulances. Figure the ratio between the victims and the ambulances. And try to get a lot of angles. Try to get live footage if you can. Try to keep up with this stuff, because they're really not as good as you might think that they are about doing this stuff. They're not. It's mainly because they don't care. They don't need to be. You're not in control. They are. And most of the sheeple, right? Most of the sheep run scared. They don't need, just like a bull sees the red deal. Or let me think of another illustration from the animal world. Okay, a bird will spread its wings out in front of another bird to make itself look bigger. But it's not. It's actually probably more vulnerable. Its wings are spread out to another animal, I mean. But it really, it's doing it to appear bigger, you know? So all this show makes it look like something major happened. And I'm not going to play the video, but, well, here we go. I don't want to play it. I'm going to pause it just a moment. I'm going to pause it. I don't think this machine is really good for this situation, for playing the video and doing the streaming. So I'm not going to jeopardize the stream. Anyway, what happens is all the cars are pulled over, and some gal's filming out the back of her window, with her cell phone. She's going, oh my God. Because what's happening is these SUVs and trucks with all the lights, some of them marked, some unmarked, just come one after another, just like whoosh, 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 whoosh. If you count them, I don't know how many more. I didn't count them, and it's impressive. And you got to figure every one of these vehicles, decked out with all they deck them out with, undercover or not, are tens and tens of thousands of dollars, upwards 50,000. A lot of these vehicles, these SUVs and things, and the striking thing is like they were all like right nose to bumper practically for those speeds. Where do they all come from? I always marvel at that. It's like this massive military presence just descends upon one of these things within minutes. Well, enough for the shooting to happen. They aren't there to stop it, generally. In this case, it looks like they stopped it. What I mean is they didn't stop the 5 dead and 21 injured. But, ultimately they reportedly, and always use the words like allegedly, reportedly. It helps you think more clearly. Keep it at arm's length. So, let's see. Is there anything up here in the sign worthy of? Now, why am I looking at that? Well, let's see. Keep calm and call 432-580-333. I can't read this. Maybe Laura Carpenter. What is she, a realtor or something? Criminal defense. Okay, I don't really pick up anything there, but sometimes these are things to look at. Can't read the license plate number. These are things that I've learned can be very important details. So, let's see. And also don't forget, somebody's running around in this area with the camera. Now we have stills, so we don't see how in danger this person is or if they're in areas. Let's see here. Once again, you got some people running different directions. You got some people just standing around like, what's going on? Doesn't this guy just look like relaxed, right? These are also important things. Do I know it means anything? It's a still. I don't know where it is, what's being, what angle, where if the gunfire is going off or not. I don't. Oh yeah, here it says this is at the Odessa cinema. Okay, people are evacuated. Okay, this guy I can tell because I saw some other. He's got his gear on. He's running. This person looks like they're running. I don't know, it looks like a face, but maybe they're both running this way. These people are going this way. This lady looks like she's walking. This lady's standing around with a baby. This is a military-looking dude. And again, police, right? But they dress like they're military, okay? Don't know what's going on here. This almost looks like a Muslim woman and another person that's I don't know. People being evacuated. That's not what I see happening here. I just see a little bit of a chaotic, disorganized scene. Again, I'm going through how I perceive these things. Let's see. Authorities initially feared the two shooters in two separate vehicles. Okay, once again, an important tell. There must have been reports. The authorities made some comment to the effect that they thought there were two shooters in two separate vehicles. How about that? A small Toyota truck, and we're missing a connector here. A conjunction, the hijacked postal van. So two vehicles, a small Toyota truck and the hijacked postal van. The Midlands police later confirmed one shooter was chased down and shot dead. Well, that's Listen to the language. Later confirmed that one shooter was chased down and shot dead. But Midland Peace confirmed that one shooter. Well, what's that mean? It means they didn't say that there was not a second shooter. It just says we're confirming that one shooter was, or only. They could have even said only. Even if they said only, one shooter was apprehended, or only one shooter was chased down and shot dead. That doesn't mean there still wasn't another one. We got to hear other statements for that to be meaningful. Okay. Odessa Police Chief Michael Gerke said, once this individual was taken out of the picture, there have been no more victims. Okay, so that would lead you to think that means there wasn't another shooter, right? So coast is clear. Everybody can walk behind the tape now and walk over the scene like we see happen a lot in these things, okay? Cops are yet to release the identity of the dead shooter and instead are only revealed, and this is important too, right? I read this a little bit ago, like moments before I started up the thing. It revealed he's a white male in his 30s who was known to the police. Now at this point, after I'd read all that, and I didn't even read in that kind of detail, but I'd seen a few things and I got to this, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, all right, this is going somewhere. Why is it going somewhere? Because context is king, okay? Context is red flag laws, okay? We just had that. That's a big deal. What that means is you could say something to someone that they could perceive and interpret or spin to mean that you might be a danger to someone because you said something, even if it was joking, that wasn't even really a thing, but somebody could spin it that way, and you could be descended upon, and all your guns taken, and now you're basically thought crime, right? So what does this mean? What would this mean? Okay, after this carnage, after this shock and awe and terror to the entire nation and the world, by the way, there's a lot of pressure. It makes the United States look like a pariah because another. You hear, if you ever read comments from other countries, many of them are just like so. It's like get with the program and everybody give up your guns. I mean, that's really the quickest way to put it. So known to the police. So there will be more pressure and outrage to, like, if you knew this guy had guns or family had guns and he had access to them or whatever, but he was known to the police. Now, I don't know what that means. That could mean, 10 years ago he stole something at Walmart. I don't know what that means. But at the outset of this, in the context of being a mass shooting, mental issues, violence, threat, something, okay? And then you got the convenient white male, Boy, if it's a white guy and it's a shooting, let's roll out the word, that 5-letter word. It's a black guy, that may surface later, but it's not usually what they put out there. And don't forget, this is the sun. This is the sun. I find that there can be a little bit not as programmed, but nevertheless still programmed. All right, let's see here. Shooting rampage. Again, initially feared more than one shooter was at large. And again, listen to the language, but later confirmed a lone gunman had been shot and killed. They know what they're doing with words. The guy who wrote this, in English to boot, most likely, they're word men. Okay? They know what they're doing and how to construct things in a way that say something but don't say something. Okay, rampage began at 4 p.m. local time in the town of Midland with a traffic stop where gunfire exchanged with the cops. Okay, I didn't read this part before. The suspect hijacked a U.S. Postal Service van and began shooting passerby at random. All right, now I got a little check about this, a little problem with this. You have to think odds here. Guy gets stopped for it's a traffic stop. What's that mean? Rolling stop, failed to signal, lights out, speeding, driving too slow, went over the center line, whatever, right? So it does happen that somebody wants to go on a chase, or you're not taking me in alive, and they may fire back at the cops. But then they turn a exchange with the cops into a shooting rampage with the public. What are the odds that somebody psychologically went to that place? What are the odds? Now think it through. I'm driving down the road. I'm headed to McDonald's. I'm headed to wherever. I hear Popo's on my tail. I got to pull over. Nope, damn it, I've had it with the man. He has that kind of firepower at his side. He gets out and starts exchanging with the cops. So basically what's happened is they're trying to say the guy was on his way to a mass shooting and happened to get a traffic ticket, decided to just kick off right there. Are you kidding me? I mean, anything's possible, okay? Anything's possible. Everything I'm holding up in the light here doesn't mean it's not true. But it stinks, okay? So let's move on. Subject hijacked a USPS van and began shooting at passerbys at random. All right. So how did, that's pretty odd. Pretty odd. I have seen somebody in a cop chase jump out of the car that either is not going any further or whatever, and they hijack another carjack it, yank the driver out, whatever, and then take off on a chase there. I don't recall in all my, as long as I've been living in this crazy world, one gets in and they just go on a shooting spree at passerbys. It's nuts, right? I mean, the idea of that is crazy. Not just there's anybody who would do that. Police chased into a Synergy Cinema in Odessa, sparking a panicked evacuation of a shopping mall. The gunman, a white male, not named, was shot dead by police. Again, convenient, typical, it's a white male. Typical, the police knew who he was, the timing of the thing. Now, I'm going to skip some of this. It's like a little bit of repetitiveness. Now remember this too, this is important. They're telling you what they did. Again, firing at random, because it could be argued that, well, he was still in a gunfight with the police, and all these people got in the way. They're telling you, no, that's not. We're saying he's firing at random. Okay. All right, just a moment. So then he had a high-speed police chase, crashed into a vehicle behind the Synergy multiplex complex. Then he engaged in a fierce battle with police and was shot dead. So he had a shootout with the police. Then he left that shootout and just hijacked a post van. Then he started shooting people at random. Then he crashed that postal van. And then he got another fierce gun battle with the police. Are you kidding me? This guy's good. Or the cops are horrible. They could not somehow pin him down. I don't know. Again, I'm just speculating. I'm just spitballing here, right? I don't know. This is one report. There may be more to it, but as you read this, it sounds ridiculous. That's all I'm saying. It sounds ridiculous. It just sounds like what they say right here, setting off a series of chaotic events. Now remember another important thing. In the context of everything, there is an occult concept. Order out of chaos. They're using the word chaos, telling you what they're doing. If this is a completely non-random thing, which it's starting to look like, okay? He then engaged in a fierce gun battle with police and was shot dead in front of panicked bank holiday weekend shoppers. Mobile phone footage later showed people running out of the movie theater and screaming in horror. Well, that ought to happen more often, by the way, because of the filth they show in there, but that's another story. All right, so let's see here. And it's funny, people tend to run towards the danger a lot of times, or in these scenes, you'll find them running in both directions, just like that still picture sort of indicated. It's like, huh? One guy's standing around doing nothing. One cop looks like he's walking people back across the street. Another one looks like he's running this way. And then these father and child seem to be running another way. Another couple's running toward it. They're going 3-4 different directions or standing around like nothing's going on. That's weird. Okay? So, an Odessa television station aired breaking news. Oh, this was interesting too. I found it interesting. It's better. Hang on 1 second. I'm doing two things too much. Okay, this was important, by the way. Of course, in comes Big Chief Trump and Chief Pence saying, absolutely determined to work with lawmakers to confront this scourge of mass atrocities in our country. Oh, really? Need I remind you, people, of something else I pointed out? Let's look at abortion statistics. Okay, let's look at I don't know. Let's look at let's see what else I got here. How about the scourge of bicycle fatalities? It's scourge. Why don't you work with lawmakers to stop the fact that over 700 or about 770 people in the United States were killed in fatalities. Oh, look, in Texas, and 2 years ago, 58. Last year, 73 people. Oh, we got 5 dead. It's a scourge of, and how many in the El Paso? I don't remember. I don't know. Let's say 20. Wait, we got to look it up. I like to be thorough. Just a minute. El Paso. How many did it end up being? 24. 22. Killed 22. 24 injured. Now, I don't know if that counts the I don't know if that counts the perp, the traitor. But let's do the math. El Paso, Texas, 22 died a month ago in a mass shooting. 5 so far have died in this one, and a month later. On bicycles, though, last year, 73 were killed. Well, I think last I checked, 73. Oh my gosh, I don't remember math. 70, is that greater than or less than 27? Somebody please comment and tell me, because I'm kind of dumb. Okay. How about abortion statistics? Let's see. What do we got here in 2015 across the United States? Well over 500,000 babies killed before they ever had a chance. And we saw a lot of the reasons. I did this, and that's not even counting 3 states who don't report to where these statistics are collected. But you get a couple shootings and less than 100 people die. I don't know. I haven't added up for the year, but let's just be generous and say that in 1 year in the United States, 500 people were shot, mass murder, shooting sprees. Well, that's terrible, but it's still not as bad as the cyclist fatalities in the United States. 777, 840 in 2016, and I don't expect it's going to go down, because in 2007, I think that's when the iPhone was introduced, and there's been I think 84% jump in distracted driving accidents or fatal something like that. You get the idea. Okay, I don't think it's going to go down. Well, actually, it looks like it stayed pretty darn statistic over the years, or consistent, excuse me. Anyway, I think I've made my point that Papa Pence and the character Chief Trump come waltzing in, and Vice President probably woodenly said in a blue suit, is absolutely determined to work with lawmakers to confront this scourge of mass atrocities in our country. My wife and I will be praying. God bless America. All right, let's move on. It's just ridiculous. I could have just scrolled down here and seen 22. Okay. All right, separate mass shooting followed the day, left 9 dead. Still less than the number of bicyclists in Texas a couple years ago. All right. This guy, so I didn't play this video, but the TV studio evacuates. This is another thing that struck me. Live on air. Now that can be replayed, you see, if this guy's a good enough actor. Not to mention the psychological impact just on that audience, you know, and how many thousands in that area watch this, you know, voters in Texas. They see the horror. They get to live it. They feel it. They have a connection. Don't you realize that their local news people are minor celebrities? And people feel a connection to them? And then when you see them terrorized, acting in horror and all dead seriousness, people are conditioned to respond to that, to resonate with that. All right, let's move on. Again, that was a tell. Now this is where things for me just kind of okay. We've got liftoff. Okay, so this is a crime scene, right? I don't believe this is Ernest Villeneuve 13. I don't know who he is. Let's go find out. This is a Twitter handle, isn't it? Is he a crime scene reporter? The website provided. Texan, Texas Christian University. Oh, a military veteran. Interesting. Could mean something. Why? Because if these are false flags, or there's military intelligence involved. Okay. He does look like he's been part of the program. He's got quite the physique that looks like, you know, he's been built up. Here he is with this picture, even closer. All right, now notice this spray pattern here. How tight that is? It's a data point. That's a good shot. That took a minute, okay, or less than, not very long if it's, you know, very fast type of a weapon, which we'll hear about eventually. But that's a very tight little nest of shots versus somebody who's not experienced or trained. And it's also would be any passenger, that would be a kill shot, because look where that is. And maybe for the driver too. You know, likely for the driver. If there's nobody in there to stop that bullet, whatever, I don't know what caliber capacity is. That's an amazing shot. That's really good. Okay? That's an assassin shot almost. But wait, there's more. So this is somebody I'd want to look a little bit more into, by the way. And this is important. So if you find out, what does this guy talk about lots of other times? Why was he there? You know, if he's not part of law enforcement and this is not a crime scene photo, why was he in the area? Just, oh, that's convenient. And what's his political bent? Those are things I can find out later, okay? But what jumped out at me, and I hadn't looked at that yet, but this is from Ernest Villeneuve 13. Again, this is a crime scene, okay? Should not be there. This is a crime scene. Should not be there. Now, once again, remember the context. This guy is being chased by police, okay? That's what we're told. That's all we know so far from this. And he's firing at random. It looks like he's firing as he's driving down the road. But he's getting off some remarkable shots. Look at this one. You see it right there? Where's your driver here? Well, his hands and arms are right through here. I don't know where the seat is reclining to. But the angle of this looks like it's coming in towards the person that would be. And where is the body already? Where are the people that were in this truck already? That's kind of weird. You know, when people get, those are kill shots or seriously wounded. Here's another one. This shot directly through, right in front of the driver's seat, right? There's a steering wheel. There's a seat. This could be a kill shot, depending on the caliber. Right through the window, right through the dash, into the chest, possibly. But what a shot. Regardless of whether anybody was hit or not, that was a good shot, you know. Really random. How could he pull this? This is incredible skills. That's really weird. Okay, here's a car littered with bullet holes. There's 2 die. Okay, this was an earlier shot or the video, I guess. So once again, you see right here is what would be a great shot. If you shut that door, and that's coming in from the side, it looks like, at some point in reference to that vehicle where that gun was pointed, it would have hit the driver or the passenger, and all it seemed odds high from what we can tell. That's a high odds looking mark, and I cannot tell. Well, that must be why that must be a bullet hole there. Once again, it's a great caliber. This is a different type of vehicle. That's a Ram truck. This is a vehicle right in the side door, going into somebody's thigh or their abdomen. That's a great shot if it penetrated through. That's a not as good as through the window right into the head or the middle of the chest or the neck area, but that's a good shot. Could sever a femoral artery. Somebody bleeds out. At any rate, there you go. That's all we got. But wait, there's more. Let's look at a few of the comments. Let's see here. Oh, let's see what the people say. Okay, where is the public? Let's take their temperature. These are just people all across the globe commenting on this. Okay, so we've got the cynical remark. I know how to stop these mass shootings. We need to pass strong laws against murder, shooting from moving vehicles. See, already these people, but based on what they read about the story, that guy was shooting out of a moving vehicle. Those shots are incredible. That's incredible. That's like the superhero villain of the movie Incredible. Now, what does that mean? Well, what are the odds of all this happening the way it looks like it happened? Or does it seem more likely that if this was a staged event, those shots could be placed there? They have quite an impact, because what's the message? The subtext to us is that you're not even safe in your vehicle driving down the road. Most people feel like they're an extension of their own house in their vehicle. You're not safe. You could get that shot right dead on your, right where you live. Right where you live. Right through the front, right center chest of that dashboard, right into your cranium, through the driver's side window or the passenger side window. Man, that passenger side little tight shot, that was remarkable. So what's that look like to me? Well, that kind of looks fishy. And how would that happen? Pretty easily. You take care of that. You get those cars set up. Real bullets went through those windows, looks like, and then you go park them where you need them. Who's going to know what you're doing? It takes a couple of guys, right? Just do it. If you got this thing timed out right, boom, those vehicles are in place as this stuff's going down. You can have real live witnesses. You can control a lot of things. I mean, people shoot movies. And there are people living their lives around who are not interfering. They can do that. Anyway, problem here is that the perp used a USPS delivery truck and the other used a Toyota truck. There were no USPS delivery trucks and no Toyota trucks, and this problem would be solved. Yeah, I know it would, wouldn't it? But see where they're going. They're laughing. They're having a healthy callousness to this blah blah. Right? Like the Onion story I shared. There's some bullshit happening somewhere today. We're going to go over to live to, whatever. Yes, there's definitely some bullshit going down today, right? Free mass killers is no coincidence. Anti-gun, false flag or otherwise, we all need to arm ourselves and watch out for each other. Dark times are upon us all. That's true. FBI, CIA planned false flags are getting more extreme and creative as the pressure is put on them over their 2016 election rigging plot with foreign intelligence agencies. Okay, I didn't even really pay attention when I was reading the last half. I was thinking about the fact that, people are using these terms more commonly, and this guy knows a little bit about it. He's, like I'm saying, getting more extreme and creative. They're like what I was just talking about. the odds are high that you're going to see a different kind, a different tone, or a different. There's going to be acceleration. What's been going has been a Chinese water torture. It's been a slow drip. It's been erosive, and it has some effect, definitely. But you can even feel the impatience of those people who really want to just rip this nation apart, where people are armed to defend the liberties that they have, or even if they just believe they have them. It's funny how many Europeans and some Americans support second-class citizen fantasy where government agents can buy rifles without fear, but everyone who is an attack speeder will be hunted, kidnapped, and imprisoned if they want to buy rifles. Yeah, so these are all reports, and then you look at, I didn't even notice this, look at all the people who agree with that, versus 102 versus 3, 109 versus 5. The people who want to, 131 versus 6. Remember, a lot of Englanders are reading The Sun, and I'm sure many Europeans, and these aren't just Americans upvoting this, is what I'm saying. But look at the downvotes versus this. The Sun is not particularly a conservative newspaper that I'm aware of, and I'm going to tell you with all confidence that the side that is trying to win doesn't have the numbers. But the numbers are, the ratio is way off. Okay, the more people understand what's happening, the worse it's getting for them. And the Bible say, last days that the iron will mix with the clay, but it's not going to overtake. The iron being the powers that shouldn't be, basically the Antichrist, the beast system, the Antichrist. Now, if you're a futurist, you believe all that stuff isn't happening yet. Well, you're wrong. Okay, and your little church probably doesn't talk to you about it. But if you really want to know the truth, pray to know the truth, the Lord will certainly grant you wisdom and truth. Okay, if you have a heart for it. And sometimes there's a price to pay. All right, I want to go a little further here. I'm going to move on. Murder must be made illegal. Get some is, I don't know what that is. Still not taking our guns. Then here comes a shill. Guns are for the weak. Right? Well, I don't know if it's a shill, but somebody, and then that gets 53 downvotes and only 4 upvotes. So you've got a pretty consistent number of the people who are, this would sort of fit the, there are paid people who go in there and they are to run defense. Okay, they run defense. They sit at desks like a phone center, but they got computers, and they know where to go to help control the narrative, help to create the resistance to what the people are saying. You don't believe me? Whatever. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. I do. The new CPRS, well, I don't know everything. That's not what I meant. I don't mean that arrogantly. I'm just saying if you think it's ridiculous to think there are paid people who go through comment sections and are paid to naysay, like somebody here is maybe shedding light or voicing an opinion that's pro this or that, but they don't come in, that there aren't people who are paid to come in and downvote or say something back to them. You're wrong. There are. Okay? Let's see. Okay, I am reading too far. I guess I can skip. That's enough. You get the idea. Okay? You get the idea. And there you go. So I haven't refreshed this. There may be a new update. I guess we'll do that while we're talking. Let's refresh it and see if there's maybe some more have died. That would be very consistent. That now it's up to 7. And if it is, believe me, if this doesn't seem to have the impact they want, if this is a false deal, they can change the numbers. They can go to another Fibonacci number, whatever they're using, cult number. They like numbers. But right now, what would I say about this? Did anybody die? I'll do this for you. I'll do this for you. I'll do it. I'll do it for you one more time. Did anybody die? I don't know. Did it really happen? Was this totally organic, like complete random nut job, terroristic guy? I don't know. I don't know. What's it look like to me? Yeah, you better don't swallow this one just so fast, okay? Don't get worried. What you need to be concerned about is this. What we all need to be concerned about is this. This is probably one of the most important things to take out of the way of this. A white male known to police. And then this. Vice President Mike Pence said that President Trump is absolutely determined to work with lawmakers to confront this scourge of mass atrocities in our country. What does that mean? Well, one of the first things he said a year or two ago was, well, we'll arrest him first and due process later. Something that effect. I forgot. I got to look that up again. It was just, I couldn't, when I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, we're in trouble. You shouldn't get away with saying something like that. And I mean, that was one of the biggest. Like, if you still supported that guy after that, you're a wishful thinker. You're a magical thinker. Because we saw his heart right there. Okay. Now, if the next thing was after the El Paso deal, all of a sudden, just like the Patriot Act, they're ready to roll out red flag laws. Okay? After, what was her name? Janet Napolitano rolled out, if you see something, say something. Now it's going to be, if you hear or read anything, say something. And guess what? Somebody's going to get swatted. Dogs will be shot. There'll be pineapple on pizza. Mass hysteria. People getting arrested, lives ruined, guns taken, branded for life, families destroyed, people shot and killed. And it's already happened, by the way. It's already happened. I remember when this first happened, there was like somebody, they went to take his guns and he ended up getting shot. I don't. Again, I'm just ad-libbing this here as far as Live Without a Net. There's unscripted. I didn't think to bring that up because I just wanted to do this so I didn't have to deal with it tomorrow. Right. So, red flag law means that, as again, you can look into it. Somebody can basically accuse you, or there might even be evidence, screenshot of something you said or wrote, and maybe you misspoke, maybe somebody was drunk, drunk posting, whatever. Who knows? And all of a sudden, somebody comes in and they're marked for life to get their guns taken away, or somebody makes strong statements. That they have great opinions, or they have, strong opinions. They have strong opinions, and they have great convictions about things, and they are constitutionalists, and they would be angry, right? If you really believe and understand what's going on, you should be angry. You should be vehement of what's happening, and at the complacency you see all around us. And they may make statements that are very direct, or very powerful statements on their social media or whatever, and some friend of theirs, quote unquote friend, has it out for them, or doesn't like their position on it, whatever, and then they can see clearly the guy didn't think it through. It's like, oh, that's not what he meant, but it looks like he hates these people or that people, whatever. But previously, a month ago, he'd posted pictures of his gun collection, right? Now he's talking about a certain group that he thinks shouldn't have any influence or shouldn't have these privileges, something like that. And next thing you know, and that dude is getting swatted. What does that mean, swatted? That means a SWAT team shows up at somebody's house, and kicks in the door. All hell breaks loose. It's amazing that people on both sides don't end up dead all the time. But they do end up dead. A lot of dogs end up dead. A lot of unarmed people end up dead. Because, the SWAT shows up. There's no surprise element for them. And they're wearing full body armor. So who's going to win those fights usually? Anyway, that's enough. I've worked up a good tiredness to go off to my rest. There's no rest for the wicked. You can be sure of that. They may think they have a clean conscience that doesn't bother them, but at will, the Lord can rip that off, and the conviction of their sin will consume them at the judgment. That is the fire of God. If you want to talk about fires of hell, the fire of God and holiness and righteousness, they can't stand. Can you imagine when they see themselves in the truth of the evil that they've given themselves over to, or they participated in selfishness and wickedness? It's horrifying. Praise the Lord for saving you, saving me, drawing us out of darkness, redeeming us from sin and death, from being a victim. For any one of us, but for the grace of God, could participate in any of the evil you see out there today. It's all a matter of circumstances, conditions, and Him. We're fortunate to be born into certain situations at times, to be exposed to certain things. There's all those kinds of things to be thankful for. But I think it's a very helpful thing to always, in these situations, no matter who, the bad guys of the elite or powers that shouldn't be, the occultists, those bad guys, or if it's a random, somebody who's off their meds and just full of demons, crazy. It helps to say to yourself in those times, but there for the grace of God go I, because we're all human beings and we all need the Savior. Great shots from driving from a moving vehicle while you're being chased. That's just so remarkable. It's just unbelievable. All right, well, make a great evening. Thanks for coming out.